How's it going, everyone? Today we are checking out just how crazy regeneration can get if you just max it out completely and go full regen. So we're going to be testing it out on Moonlord, but first we have to check out some different ways to increase our regen and also talk about how the mechanics work. Aside from the usual buffs that increase your life regen, like campfires, heart lanterns, and those things, there are three factors that directly influence how much regen you will have. These include whether or not the player is moving, the time since the player was last hit, and the health capacity. So if the player is not moving, then you get extra regen than if the player was. The longer it's been since you were last hit to a maximum of 60 seconds, the more regen you will be getting. And finally, the higher your cap, the more regen you will have. So all of these three factors will directly influence your regen in addition to those separate buffs that I mentioned. Okay, there's three armor sets that will increase your regen. So the first of which is the good old Crimson armor. The other armor set is the Platinum armor. Now, unlike the Crimson armor, this set bonus is not passive. You have to wait till you hit an enemy and then it will occur for 5 seconds. And finally, the third one is the Squire helmet and the Valhalla breastplate. Obviously, this isn't an armor set, but these two armor pieces directly upgrade your regeneration. And it's kind of a good thing that it's not a set bonus because it gives us room to use whatever leggings we want for defense. Okay, so in order to test all of this, I've made a pit. When I fall down this hole, I'm going to take 390 damage. So the reason why we are doing this is because we need to wait 60 seconds for our regen to stop scaling. And if you recall, our regeneration is scaling because the time since we were last hit is obviously increasing, which will increase our regen. And this caps at 60 seconds. So after 60 seconds, our regen will be at a fixed rate. And at that point, we can see exactly how much extra regen we get from each armor set. Now, before we do that, we have to establish a baseline. How much regen are we getting once we hit 60 seconds and once it stops scaling? So let's take a look at exactly how much we gain in 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to put the exact extra health that I get on screen for all of this, but the only important thing here is to see what number is the highest, basically, after these tests. So we're gonna equip the Crimson armor. After 5 seconds, we're going to see how much life we have, and then compare that to the other sets. So as you can see, we are at 243 life. So next up, we're going to try the Platinum one. Now this one's a little tricky because we have to hit an enemy once we hit 200 life. And I should have equipped the armor set earlier because I kind of failed this and started it a little bit later. We're just going to account for that in the final results. So we're going to subtract 4 because it started at 204 instead of 200. So the final result is 245. We subtract the 4 because we started a little late, rather. And we get 241. So if we compare that to what we got on the Crimson armor set, which is 243, it's actually slightly worse. Ever so slightly worse than the Crimson armor. So last up, we're going to take a look at the Valhalla breastplate and the Squire helmet and see how they fare when compared to these two armor sets. Immediately, we are gaining so much life. And we finish at 287. I'm going to keep this rolling because just to show you how quickly we can get the full life. Keep in mind, all these tests were done without campfires, without heart lanterns, without honey, without all of those extra buffs and accessories that we can now add in order to increase this. So now that we know which armor set is the best and which armor to use, we're going to move on to some accessories. Now, first up, we're going to be doing this in normal mode, and then we'll talk about extra mode after. Just so you know, which is why the shiny stone is not here. But as you can see, there are quite a few accessories that we can use to increase our regen. First up is the Band of Regeneration. In addition to that, we also have the Charm of Myths. Even though they are upgrades of each other, you can still use both and utilize the effects. So same case with the Moonstone, the Celestial Stone, and the Celestial Shell. They will all continue their effects. I'm going to put the exact values, regen per second, on screen that it will add to our loadout. So this is how much we get from each accessory. So all of this together is about 4.5, or in fact, it's exactly 4.5 regeneration per second that we're adding to our build. In addition to accessories, there are a few more ways we can increase our regen. Of course, we have the campfire and the heart lantern that we can add to this. The campfire increases our regen by 0.5 and also boosts our healing rate to 1.1. Again, all of the little nitty-gritty details don't matter too much because we're just going to see how much regen we can get. If you do want to learn more about the exact formula and stuff, you could feel free to read up on that on this wiki, but I think most people are here just to see how insane our regen can get and what we can do with it. So next up, we have some honey. That gives us another 1 for regeneration per second. The Regeneration Potion, of course, another 2 per second. The Dryad's Blessing, which is another 3 regeneration per second. Now, there's actually also a weapon that we can use. It's called the Life Drain. Basically, what it does is it increases your regeneration by 2.5 per second while it's attacking enemies. Now, next up, we're going to test it just as we did in the How Tanky Can You Get video against Moonlord. We're going to see just how insane all this regen is. Okay, so we have replaced the Moonstone with the Cross Necklace to increase our iframes, and because the reason why we did this is because while we're in Honey, we become the Merfolk, and that means that we don't get those buffs from the Werewolf. Basically, what I'm doing instead is using Cross Necklace, and hopefully we can gain back some of that lost regen by having more immunity frames. It'll give our regen a chance to start snowballing. Okay, here's Moonlord. So I'm actually just going to see. I'm not going to use the Life Drain. In fact, I just want to see if we could straight up AFK farm Moonlord. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna watch, see what happens. This is big here. How much damage do we take? Okay, 85. That's not a ton, and we regen quite a bit of that quite quickly. I'm just realizing now that the Dryad isn't actually doing the Dryad's Blessing, so I need to put an enemy down there. So we should have more regen than this. But yeah, we're just kind of tanking everything. So even without the Dryad, right, we are still fine. So I think what we could do, and by the way, I'm grappled to the ground right now, which is why I'm not moving. So that keeps our, that keeps our regen as high as it can be because we're not moving. So here we have another laser coming in. I'm thinking though, I actually think once the eyes pop out, we're gonna start taking a lot more damage. So we'll see. But yeah, I just want to let the game do its thing and see if it's possible to AFK Moonlord farm. Because I think that's pretty interesting. I've never tried to stack regen like this. I just didn't even think it would be that good. And this is without Shiny Stone. I don't know how effective that'll be, but I'll get into that later on once we go into expert mode. This is still a normal mode, obviously. So yeah, but the Dragon's doing its thing. We haven't dipped below 500, I don't think. And yeah, it's pretty good. I don't see any signs of us losing too much health here. Keep in mind, you could do this same exact thing with a pre-Moonlord weapon, because we don't actually have anything on. Actually, we might have solar leggings. Yes, okay, we do have solar leggings, but I believe the Valhalla Greaves, or whatever they're called, but the leggings actually have the same defense. So you can have this exact same loadout pre-Moonlord, which is pretty huge because you can literally just sit here, use any sort of summon that can attack through walls, and just kill Moonlord. In fact, you could even put this setup, and there's Moonlord. You could put this setup in the air, and then you wouldn't have to worry about things attacking through walls, too. So, like, you can just straight up farm Moonlord like this, AFK. And I guess if you had an auto clicker and like a bunch of summons, I think you could get away with quite a few of these. Now, the one thing I'm worried about though is once the life force and the regen go away. If you're playing modded though, then you can use unlimited versions of these buffs, and then that problem goes away. So yeah, you can just straight up AFK farm Moonlord. That's how OP regen is in this game. Okay, now this wouldn't really be a regen video if we didn't talk about some debuffs. So we're going to do just that and take a look at poison. Well, first poison and maybe the on fire debuff. We just want to see if we can sustain these debuffs with the amount of regen that we have. So we're going to do that right now before we're getting into the expert mode fight. Okay, it's nighttime now, so we actually also have, in addition to the honey, because we can just quickly grab it here and take that honey. Then we go down here and yeah, we have like a solid amount of regen, even while we have the on fire debuff, which is crazy. So now let's try the poison debuff. We're going to set up a dart trap, step on it, see what happens. Okay, right by that torch here, we have a dart trap set up. Our pressure plate is right here. Now what we're going to do is step on it, and we took 1 damage, and we're healing. it will not deal any damage to us. We are just full health. So that's pretty cool. So if you actually look at the formulas, there's a way that everything interacts with each other in the debuffs. If we have both on, we do start losing health. Not very quickly, though, actually. Or wait, wait, that was... Oh, I see, okay. So the time since we last got hit was playing a factor there. So it's pretty interesting. So if we take a dart trap, we hit the poison, we're not taking damage. Then if you see, we quickly dunk in the lava, we're taking damage, it slows, and then it starts to gain. So as the time since we were last hit increases, so does our regen. So then we start to completely tank these different debuffs, which is really cool. So we have both of those active at the same time. Also, yeah, as you can see, while we're moving, which is another interesting thing to point out, while we're moving, we are losing health. And if we stay still, then it stops and it starts to rise. So that is really cool. That just puts all of the different mechanics that I talked about together. We're going to get into a expert Moonlord fight here. And see how that works. So hopefully we can manage to AFK it in expert mode. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're in expert mode. I use the demon art. We have the shiny stone equipped. Now I should have mentioned that I have everything warding to help us tank as much as possible. We are using all warding gear. There's life force. There's everything we need. Here we go. This is expert Moonlord. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. Okay, immediately right off the bat, we're taking a lot more damage, but our regen is keeping up so far. It's gonna get quite scary. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it without any sort of protection from that laser, because yeah, that just did like 220 damage. But our Stardust Dragon Staff is doing work. Yeah, I don't even think we'll be able to get to the eyes popping out. It doesn't seem like it. So what we're gonna do instead is we're probably going to put a layer of blocks above us to block that laser, and I think if we do that, we should have enough regen. Okay, while we wait for Moonlord to kill me here, I just want to quickly point out that Nebula Armor technically has more regen than the current setup we have on now. Not by a lot, but by a decent amount. But that requires you to move and be actively damaging and all that, and because we're just wanting to sit still and AFK farm, we're going to stick with this setup, but keep that in mind. Nebula Armor technically can give you more regen than what we are currently using. I really thought we were going to tank through this for some reason. I don't know why, but I really did. But that doesn't mean we're out of the fight. I still want to figure out if we can do this without even touching any, like, controls. Okay, so I've fixed all of our problems. Not only is the Dryad not below us, so she won't get targeted by those eyeballs in that second phase once we open the core. Or I guess once we take out an eyeball. But also, I moved the blood zombie all the way down, like here, like way down, at the maximum range to where it would trigger the Dryad's Blessing. So what this means is it should always be active unless she gets hit, and because of her position, it should only be these eyeballs hitting her. So what this means is we should have a really good amount of regen and should be able to AFK this boss now. So a lot of setup, but potentially worth it. And of course, yeah, our Stardust Dragon Staff is not getting distracted at all. It's going much quicker. This is good. We're like a minute in and it's already taken out pretty much all the eyeballs. Oh god, no. It's going for it. No, come back. Okay. I guess it's not always. I mean, it's much better than before. It would be like 6 minutes in is around this point before when it was getting distracted, but now it's good. It's just straight. Okay, come on. Come on. It's always the left hand. It always is the left hand. It's gonna heal up. Come on, yeah, just take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Yes. Core time. No. Take out the core, damn it. Go for the core. What are you doing? Oh my god. It just doesn't even register it. It doesn't even know it's there. Stardust Dragon Staff, come on, buddy. Come on. You're better than this. You're better than this. Oh my god. This is gonna take a while, but I think we have enough tank to go through it. So if we do this, it should just speed it up. Okay. That does require a click though, so we'll see if this gets close. If this gets close, then it might not be AFKable. But if we stay above 300, I would say, around 300, then we should be okay. Which we are staying above 300. So I think you could actually AFK this boss, which is what I put a lot of time into this, and I'm glad I finally have done it. I think. All of these hearts coming in, all the regen that we have. The Dryad's not getting hit over there, which is exactly what we want. And the Stardust Dragon Staff isn't being an idiot, because we target it. So, we're good. I think we should have this. We should have this, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see this. Okay. Probably have 5 more seconds before this thing goes down. A little over, but yeah. You guys get the point. Yeah, this is totally 100% able to be done AFK. It just would take a while because you wouldn't really be able to target the core. So I guess if you really optimize the position of these blood zombies, then you would be good. But yeah, that is Moonlord AFK with our insane regen capabilities. So I'm really excited that we were able to do that. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see similar things to, or a similar video to this, I also did one called, as I said before, How Tanky Can You Get in Terraria? Definitely go check that out. It's a really good video if you have not seen it already. I am starting to stream on Twitch now, so if you want to see me play different games, it'll be Terraria and then other games as well. I think I'm doing a Wand of Sparking only run. We're going to see how far we can get. So if you're interested in taking a look at some of that, then be sure to check out the link in the description and follow me on Twitch. And I think that's everything. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one.